Everybody, welcome again to another episode of Disability Landscape. I'm your host, Charlie Brose. Again with me today is Paul Pringhofer.
Yes.
Paul, what's happening new in your world?
Oh, a big thing in my new world. In about 8 days, I turn 70.
Ooh, good.
Then we have to reinvent the wheel, right?
Oh, gosh. Yes.
So, Paul, we have a couple of young ladies with us today from the Multiple Sclerosis Society People of Color Support Group.
Yes, sir.
Just want to make sure I got that right.
You
That's
got
a
it
lot
right.
of words.
Yeah.
We have with us Linda Gill and Jill
Dean.
I want to thank you ladies for coming in today,
Thank you
because
for
it sounds
having
like
us.
you had quite a trek to get here.
Yes.
But we appreciate it.
Yes.
We had a chance encounter a couple of weeks ago with me and your group, and I just love what was happening, because you were having a picnic just to be celebrating the end of summer, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, kind of in chatting with you, you guys do other events throughout the year for your group to keep everybody happy.
Yes.
And, you know, and I believe the social aspect of it is phenomenal, because it does keep people involved in a group that, you know, of people who have similar issues as themselves.
Absolutely. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, what is your biggest event of the year?
The biggest is going to the Pillsbury House Theater,
Okay.
going to see different plays.
Oh,
Yep, and we love that. And they always say, pay what you can.
right.
From can be $1 to $25.
Okay.
So they allow us there, and my group pays $5 a person. And we go, and they make sure we have the wheelchair area. They have it all set up, and we're taken care of, and we love it there.
And that's the Pillsbury House, right, on Chicago Avenue
Yes, sir.
in Minneapolis?
Okay.
It's kind of in my old neighborhood, so I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, a nice place.
Do you have anything, Paul?
Tell us a little bit about your group. I mean, what kind of things do you do, or how did you get started? And maybe a little bit about your membership. How many people do you have?
Well, I'm not one of the people that were around to help it get started, but I can kind of run through what we do, you know, monthly or whatever. Like this month will be October, and we will be meeting at the North Regional Library in Minneapolis.
Okay.
And we like to do stuff to support the community the best we can. So at that meeting, we're hoping to take candy for Halloween and stuff it into bags, and then we turn around and give it to the library staff so that they can give it out to Halloween for kids or individuals that come in during that holiday time. So each month we kind of come up with concepts or things to do physically during our group time, or we have different topics that we talk about or specialize in. I remember, you know, like a couple years back, we talked about emotional health, wellness, being social, and actually brought in somebody that specializes in emotional help and gave us real tools of how we can be beneficial to ourselves by being more appropriate and kind to ourselves.
Sounds like something I should attend.
Yeah, anytime. You're welcome to come, anytime.
Well, I'll have to find your calendar.
Yep, fourth Saturday of the month.
And so you do these on a monthly basis. Now you're talking about the library on Lowry then?
Yes.
Yep, Lowry and
13,
Emerson.
Again, I get around, so.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
And Linda, how long have you been involved with the
Gosh,
organization?
I've been there since I was diagnosed in 2000.
Okay. So,
I had to find a spot, and my husband said, let's find something for you to find out more about your MS.
Sure.
Because it's depressing at first,
Oh, yeah.
but you just got to fight through it. And you need to find other people like yourself, or not. And we have people in my meeting too that don't have MS,
Okay.
but it's a support group. So you can come out and just come out and talk. And whatever we do, you're welcome to come.
And so as the support group then, it's helped you to better understand what you're going through
Absolutely.
and to kind of grow with it and learn to help others as well then.
Yes, yep. No better way to say it. Mhm.
Okay.
And it really helps out a lot. Because you get people who are really depressed.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes I can come in to the meeting and I'll say, anybody else depressed? And I raise my hand. I said, nobody said that. I said, okay, I am. I'm depressed. And I tell my reasons why. Then as I get done, then all of a sudden, other members are saying, thank you. We are depressed too. And we have other people from the MS Society come down and talk to us about depression and things of that nature.
Okay, so it helps others open up about
Absolutely.
their own feelings about the problem.
Don't be afraid.
Because every disability has its challenges.
Absolutely. And you're not alone.
Yeah.
Yes. So, you said you talked about doing the Halloween bags. What other kind of things have you done at your meetings and stuff?
Can I just, one
Yeah.
thing that she done real good, we was that COVID, we did bingo. And she was at our house,
Okay.
and some of us at the library, and we were on Zoom. She did bingo from Zoom with the group, and it was really nice.
Cool.
And what happened is I had met with Linda and Mitch maybe a month or two before the actual meeting and handed them over stuff
Yeah.
like paperwork for the
Sure.
bingo or I don't know if
And
it
gifts,
was
yeah.
gifts to give away for bingo when people went there, but because I am immune compromised, I really had to stay away from the group. And so, but I still ran the bingo from my house,
It was fun.
and it was fun, and the giveaways were popular. Other things we've done is at Christmas time, it's kind of select a family of who we'd like to sponsor, and people will bring in different gifts for that, and then we may present them or at that point give it to whoever we're planning to give it to. It's not just about doing things physically either, because one of our members previously brought us in and talked about nutrition. Nutrition plays a really big role in your health and wellness related to a chronic disease, and a lot of things that are probably most anti-inflammatory or lower triglyceride type folks, and eating good healthy fats are important for your brain with MS. And so we had a discussion, but that was led by one of our participants. So each participant actually has great ideas of what they do or what they see, and then that's how the topics start rolling
Right.
for ideas.
And you briefly touched on COVID. That had to been very difficult for
It
the
was
whole
for a
group.
lot of the group. It was. And a lot of them
Now-
are still in the house. And I think one of my grandkids were selling pizzas. So we went by their house. He said, Linda, can I come out? I said, why not? Can I just get a hug? I'm tired of being inside the house.
Yeah.
So we came out, she hugged me. And I can tell it was so spiritual.
Okay.
Just the idea of getting out that house, seeing fresh air and people.
Sure.
You know, come on, yep.
Well, in that, did you host Zoom meetings
We have.
and such just to kind of get people just
The
be able
option.
to talk to each other?
Right, and they still can. We still got Zoom now, and
Right.
a lot of the members still do Zoom.
And I think the MS Society just had recommended no in-person meetings at that point.
one point,
And
yep.
so it took a little bit to get the Zoom up and sign up for a membership yearly or whatever. But once that was rolling, I felt like quite a few people showed up to the meetings then.
Good.
So, and then once the restrictions were lifted, now it's still possible to attend via Zoom. So like one of our members and participants, he originally lived here, but now he's moved to Florida.
Paul.
Is it Florida? And so he can attend our meetings via Zoom,
Yep.
but people outside the state or whatever can attend, or out state metro area could attend too. So
Yep.
And you're still, you're connected then with the MS Society at large.
Absolutely, yep.
And do they support the activities you're doing and help,
Yep.
you know, get things moving and
They
all
do,
that?
yep, and they get my husband available too. They send him a check, you know, because he gets the picnic, the park, and get the money to make the donation for the picnic area.
Sure,
So he does that, and yeah, they do a lot for us, and we do a lot for them.
Okay.
You know.
And both your spouses are able-bodied then?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Might be a
And
little pain in the butt at times, but I love them dearly. Yeah. Yeah.
Careful, they might be listening.
Going on 46 years, he know.
Well,
Oh, wow.
that's a good run.
It
That
is.
is.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
in-
thank you.
So, when you know you're diagnosed with MS, what kind of adjustment was it there for them with you? You know, was the support there? Were they jarred by it? You know, that type of thing.
I have to say, my husband, he's such a caregiver.
Okay.
For me, I was blindsided. You know, I got MS, and my kids, I have 3 boys, they said, Mom, you're going to die. I said, yeah, eventually.
Yeah.
But they said, well, the MS, you're going to die, Mom. I said, no, honey, it's not that serious yet.
Yeah.
I said, let's work through this together.
Right.
And we're going to hold hands and pray. I'm not going nowhere yet. I said, God's not ready for me. You know, but yeah. And he does a good job. He goes to my doctor's visits with me, everything. You see me, you see Mitch. You know, so
Right.
I'm blessed.
Well, that's good. I mean, it has to be a team effort.
You have to have a team effort, someone who's willing to do that with you, no matter what.
And Jill, do you have the same experiences then, or?
Yes, and so my mom had MS. Linda, you
My
have.
brother and my nieces, yep.
And by the way, MS is not considered a genetic passed down thing, but there are family members that sometimes will have MS that run into it for further family. But I think I identified that I was dealing with the same issues my mom was. I was having a lot of balance issues and kind of tumbling, a lot of problems all of a sudden with multitasking. I mean, there were just a lot of clumsiness, a lot of fatigue that was very unexplainable. I would have to literally finish my job as a nurse, whatever shift I had. I had to rest in my car for 15, 20 minutes before I wanted to feel comfortable to drive home, because I didn't want to put, of course, anyone on the
danger,
road at
yeah.
risk. So these things kind of creep up on you slowly, but after a while it started saying, okay, my mom was the same age when she was diagnosed. I'm seeing the same problems. So I think for me, I kind of felt like I had MS for quite a while, which is very common for individuals to feel. And then my husband was right along with me, where I was working full-time, and now all of a sudden I felt like I could barely work part-time. Then I was working part-time, and I was really doing more resting to just go back to try to get through the work. And so he saw the progression as it went through. So yeah, he's been extremely supportive. He's doing all that he can do to make our life comfortable and to be there and we're not hopeless. We feel like we're in a good position and that we have lots of years, but
Yes, we
I
do.
mean, you don't know what you're dealt with when you're born or what happens, and you just have to deal with it as it comes forward.
Well,
And he's a good cook too.
Oh.
He truly is.
And it does take somebody with strength to help in that situation, because I've seen a number of examples where the spouse will just go, I can't deal with this, I'm out.
Right.
And I don't have that one, thank God.
Yeah.
We have good ones.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You-
Who are willing
you-
to deal with us no matter what.
Yeah.
And sometimes you sit there and say, if you want to leave, leave.
Yeah.
I'll be okay. So I think. But I'm glad he's still there no matter
Yeah.
what I go
You
through.
might tell him, hey, it's okay to leave, but
Right.
he says, I ain't going nowhere.
And the blindness, I went blind too, and that was one of the scariest moments in my life. And I worked at General Motors, and I was working in Edina, had to come out to Hudson. And being blind in the left eye, and I'm a fast driver. And I'm like, Mitch, I can't see. He said, just follow the big truck in front of you. Okay, I did that for a minute. Then the truck went off. I'm like, now what? So yeah, it's one of those things. Yeah, the blindness was very scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Optic, yeah.
I can
Yeah.
believe that. Paul and I are both married to women who are also disabled.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's a dual support system because
Yes.
they're there
Wonderful.
for each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know with my wife and I, like cooking, it usually takes both of us to prepare
Right.
a meal. My wife likes to say she can put everything together, but I'm a great stirrer and over the.
Right.
She doesn't like to cook on the stove very
Right.
much, and so I do all of that, but she gets everything ready to go.
Okay. See?
Yeah, and I feel that I'm like the chef, the prep person too. So I'm really great at sitting down. That's my expertise of just sitting, accomplishing what needs to be done, and then pass it over to Bill so that he's the one that puts it together and gets the flavor in it.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So, what's the next upcoming events for your group? What do you?
Well, the next one is going to be the Halloween,
Halloween
stuff in the
thing.
bags, getting
Okay.
that ready. That's
And
on
then-
the 28th.
Yeah, October 28th, the group meets 11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Okay.
North Regional Library. That'll be it. And then I'm not sure if we have anything scheduled for the following month for,
Not yet, but usually around Christmas and stuff, we usually have a dinner or whatever.
Sure. Get together to
Yeah, we'll find a
say,
spot.
"Hey, we made it this year. We're
Yeah.
good.
right,
Yeah.
Yes.
right,
Yeah,
exactly.
and we celebrate our 20th year anniversary as far as the group. I think I gave you a copy of that.
Okay.
Yeah, that was in the paper. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. Made a difference.
So how long have you been involved with the group?
I would say maybe 4 years, 4 years, I'd guess, thereabouts. I believe I went to the MS Society website and you put in your zip code and it tells you what supports in your area.
Okay.
So there is a group south of the metro that I had attended basically up until COVID, which I went to. They met both during the weekdays and weekend, which was great because I was trying to work, and so sometimes I'd do that or whatever, but they actually met for like a lunch at our local restaurant sometimes or whatever, and they also had educational stuff. But I think at that point I also was just looking to see what around us, is there something for couples or whatever. So I think we had looked at a couples group at one point. So I was just did that search and I found that this group was meeting. And I thought, well, that sounds like a great group to try out. So that's when we entered in and kind of met everybody in the group. And I can tell you, the group is quite active just at their regular meetings, but also outside in the meetings. And the other thing I like about the MS People of Color is it's positively based. Like the concepts is not necessarily to be like very negative. When you're there, it's more so uplifting, so that you feel that kindness from other people and you feel like you are part of a community.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of a shared journey type
Absolutely. Yep.
thing. When working as a nurse and when COVID hit, was that like the breaking point for you?
I was technically disabled before then.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yes, I worked previously as a nurse, but because of the MS, I was labeled as disabled
Right.
before that. So
Okay.
COVID per se, because I'm immune compromised,
Right.
I ended up with COVID. Sorry, touching that. And my husband ended up with COVID. We actually ended up in the ICU. I was in the
Scary.
ICU for 2 weeks. He was in the ICU for 3 weeks, and it was very rough. And I do believe it was the MS med and the immune compromised state. And even though I tried to be as careful as I could be, it just happens. So,
Certainly.
but I had plenty of time to think about, would I take this drug again? You know, you're on the border of having to get a breathing tube down your own throat, and you're just keep trying every day to say, I just want to make it through today. That's what I kept telling myself every day in the hospital. But I mean, ultimately I decided that this med had done so well for me that it feels like it slowed everything down so much more controlled. That I said, yes, I absolutely will take this med, and I will be more precautious than I was, and I do stuff to be even more. Not that I was doing anything out
Differently.
of the ordinary, but yeah, it affected us, and we still
So-
are very protective.
Then post-COVID, did you get the vaccines for it? Or were
Okay,
those
so
non-recommended?
yes, I do vaccines. I did the COVID vaccine this fall, just a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
The medicine I take actually kind of wipes out a lot of your immune cells.
Sure.
So there's certain times you have to get vaccinated, because if you wait too long, now all of a sudden your vaccine doesn't work. But I ended up with with the boosters besides. I think this was probably my 5th COVID vaccine I've had. So I definitely vaccinate. I'm actually doing a research study under a immunologist who works on your immune system, related to a product that used to be under the emergency use. It was called Evusheld, but COVID kind of variants kind of surpassed how good the Evusheld worked. So now I'm doing a Evusheld 2.0 study. So I got either a placebo or Evusheld. And now they'll check to see, am I making antibodies against the current COVIDs? Am I making antibodies with the Evusheld thing itself? So I am still taking vaccines. I take all kinds of regular vaccines that you have.
The flu and all that.
Yep.
For you, you say you're taking a certain med that is helping your MS or slowing it. Have there been medical advances that make, MS progress slower now, that help people? Or?
She would know more than me.
I would say yes, because when my mom had MS, she would give herself an injection at home every other day.
Sure.
And I mean, my mom had contractures in her hand, and she had drop foot where your foot doesn't pick up. And I can see that for me, even though I have muscle spasms and contractures at times, it's not turned to permanent. And the amount of disability I have versus what she had is really very minimal compared to what she went through. And so I started out on the same medicine she did with the injections, but after about 1.5 years, I just kept seeing I was downhill decline. It wasn't like I was downhill and stabilized and could work my way out. That's what it seemed like my mom did. But I was just doing this constant decline. So at that point, believe it or not, the nurse from the insurance company said, I'd like you to get a second opinion, which I did. And then that new physician put me on a different medicine. And so when you asked, are these meds changed? So these meds are addressing to have your immune system not attack itself because it's an autoimmune disorder. And so yes, the meds have come a long ways and could be taken. Some are pill form, some are injections, some are monthly infusions, some are 6 months infusions. So there's all sorts of variants in there.
Right.
But there are treatments available to help maintain or slow down what's
Absolutely.
happening.
Correct.
And I was allergic to a lot of different the medications, the injections, Capexin, Betaseron. I mean, every time you look up, I mean, I'm red, and itching, and going on. I'm like, what's going on? And then he said, no, we got to take you off this stuff. I think Betaseron, not the Beta, it was another one, Rebif.
Rebif.
That was the worst. Yeah. So, and he said, Linda, you shaking. I mean, I was shaking so much. And that's when my husband was in the room too. He said, yeah, I like a wife I can lay in the bed with. That one's going to rock me to sleep. And I'm looking at him like, why would you say something like that? But then I thought about it. I didn't know my body was shaking like that.
Yeah.
And they had to take me off the medication for about a month. And then they put me back on a different one. So no more shaking, thank God.
Well,
So
that's
good. Good.
Yeah.
Well, and for me, I found that I was allergic to the COVID vaccines.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so I have to find alternatives.
Okay.
Well, for me, they've now recommended the Novavax.
Okay.
Okay.
So, I'm getting that set up, and hopefully it'll keep things, I've been very fortunate not to contract it.
Right.
So,
Right.
I know.
Right,
I
right.
know. Oh, I hate it. Yeah.
yeah,
I think I've been fortunate. I have not had it as far as I know.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure your wife would tell you.
Well, I might have been one of the people that didn't show symptoms.
Oh,
Okay.
Of any kind.
Yep. Yep.
So-
And like you folks, yeah, I've had all the vaccines.
Well, and I'd learned a year or so ago that certain people with different blood types actually have a better immune system against it,
okay.
which was interesting to find. If you have like a rarer blood type like AB, you're more susceptible to feel worse.
Okay.
Okay.
So it was an interesting thing to learn. So
So if somebody's interested in your group, how do they find out about you?
where can they find you?
Yes.
Anywhere. You can go online.
I would say you could go to the MS Society. So we're the Midwest chapter of the National MS Society. And then when you go into there, you can look for support or get connected. And at that point, you can put, like I said, your zip code in.
Sure.
And if there is a particular group you're interested in trying to reach out with, the contact person, such as Linda, is listed with her email and possibly even a phone number to contact her.
Awesome.
And then also on the National MS Society also has a lot of information just as for support. It could be financial support for anyone, and we're talking anyone with any disabilities too is a great resource. It could even go into stuff on nutrition. It could go into caregiver concerns. It could be talking about different treatments. So the actual website is very helpful.
Okay. But do you have like a Facebook page though for the people of color group?
Not really.
No?
We
You
should get
You
one.
should consider it, because with all the great events you do,
We do a
it's a
lot.
great way to
Right.
spread
And
the
I want
word.
people to know that just because it says people of color,
Yeah,
white's a color.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
we had a lady in my group, her name was Mary, and a signer was Aileen. She used to sign for her.
Okay.
And Mary contacted me and said, Linda, I want to be a part of your group. I said, why come you can't? Linda, I'm white. I said, isn't white not a color? And she said, okay. I said, I want to see the fourth
Yeah, you're not
Saturday of the month.
translucent, so
There
it's-
you go.
yeah.
Yep.
Real quickly, I want to touch on the
that
idea
was- just wanna
of Pam.
Yeah, show Pam. She was my co-facilitator, if you can see it,
And this is Pam
in the wheelchair, in blue.
in the wheelchair in the blue.
Miss her a lot.
I will
we out of
confess
town.
that I had actually known Pam before
I know.
meeting Linda and her group, because she is very much into improv theater.
Improv,
Ah.
Yep. Yes, he is.
And I met her at the
Pam.
huge theater
her
group in,
husband.
in Minneapolis, and she was wonderful. She loved to bring cats
Yes, you love cats.
into her characters,
Yes.
so that was always fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
She just lost her cat too, Chloe. Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
yes, she did. Well, I want to thank both you ladies for coming in.
Thank you.
And the trek
Thank
you
you
made.
both, yeah.
We appreciate that. I want to thank Jill and Linda with the MS Society People of Color Support Group.
Yeah. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm Charlie Brose, with me Paul Pranghofer.
Yes.
We're going to see y'all next time. Thanks for watching.
Aw, thank you.